Welcome to the Man of Recaps. This is Andor, Season 1. Meet Cassian Andor, who would go on to become a hero of the rebellion in Star Wars Rogue One, but for now he's living a quiet life on Ferrix, a junkyard planet. He's basically a grifter who steals valuable parts from salvage ships while his friends with jobs look the other way. And he's the classic kind of charming rogue who is friends with but owes money to everyone in town. But tonight he visits a bar because he heard a girl from Kenari works there. Kenari was his home planet. He's hoping it is his long-lost sister. When they were kids, a ship crashed there and things went bad. Cassian ended up bound by this Ferrix scavenger Marva. She became his loving adopted mother and has a cute old droid B2. Anyway, his sister search hits a dead end, but some corporate security guards are ready to pick a fight. They try to shake him down outside, but Cassian fights back. Unfortunately, he fought back too hard and killed one of them, and he can't leave witnesses, has to kill the other. So in the morning, he visits his ex-girlfriend Bix, who has a contact that's a wealthy buyer. He's gonna sell this one piece he's been holding onto for enough money to get out of town. So she calls her mystery buyer on their secret radio, and it is none other than Stellan Skarsgård, a character named Luthen. So Kath is gonna sell him this Imperial Starpath unit he has. It's like, whoa man, how'd you get that? But Cassian's like, look, I'm good at what I do. I just walked on to an Imperial ship wearing a maintenance outfit and took it. And Luthen's like, hey, I'm not just here to buy this. I'm recruiting for the rebellion and we want you. But meanwhile, corporate security's looking into these murders. The chief is like, hey, it was clearly a bar fight gone wrong. We're not going to investigate. But his second in command, Cyril, is a real uptight guy who takes his job seriously and is like, hey, this is now priority one. So a security team's coming for Cass. Their meeting's cut short. He and Luthen have to work together to escape. Their escape car gets blown up, but it was a distraction escape car. Oh, Luthen's the man. Boom! Meanwhile, on Coruscant, yes, the Star Wars capital planet, our main antagonist is Dedra Meero, an up-and-coming agent at the ISB, the Imperial Security Bureau. Cassian's stolen Starpath unit is just one of a lot of missing tech that she thinks is part of an organized rebel conspiracy, but she's having a hard time getting her bosses to listen. Meanwhile, Cyril is very much fired. He goes home to live with his mom and falls into a serial depression. His mom's like, don't worry, I'll call Uncle Harlow, who gets him a job at the most boring department in the Empire. Now, Luthen's like, hey man, you hate the Empire, you should join the rebellion, but Cassian's like, no, that's too dangerous, I gotta look out for myself. Alright, well what if you do just one mission, because I'm putting together a heist and we'll pay you. Cassian's like, well, I could do that. So they fly down to Shepard Planet, where Vel is running the heist team, and Cassian befriends the whole motley crew, but Luthen himself is not sticking around. He's gotta go back to his cover identity, where he's a flamboyant, high-end artifact dealer. So yeah, he's basically Batman, where his real identity of Bruce Wayne is just a cover for his true self, where he's a secret rebel badass who drives a really sweet souped-up car. And we get to see he's the true architect of the rebellion, pulling strings behind the scenes and trying to unify all the different factions like Saw Gerrera, who we meet later in Rogue One, into one unified rebellion. His biggest ally on Coruscant is Mon Mothma, who we know later becomes the head of the rebellion. Right now, she's that token senator who's trying to make the Empire less evil and everyone mostly ignores her. But behind the scenes, she's working with Luthen, giving him money to fund the rebellion. Now back to the heist. Turns out this remote garrison has a ton of money in it and our crew's got a man on the inside. And to cover their escape, they're gonna go on the night of an epic meteor shower. So as the locals come for their meteor shower party, our crew's posing as guards, and while everyone's focused outside, our crew infiltrates and starts loading up a buttload of cash. It goes smoothly until the very end, but now what's this? Oh, it's beautiful and an epic cover for their escape. Some TIE fighters chase after him, but Cassian Andor, an ace pilot, flies up above it till they can't follow and our gang's home free. But tragically, this young guy died, and he was a true believer who wrote the Rebel Manifesto. And now this other guy turns on him, forget the rebellion, you and me, Andor, will split that cash. What kind of person is Cassian? Not that kind, he shoots this guy. But he does bail on Vel, like, hey, I was just paid for this one job, I'm gonna take my cut and bounce. But overall, the heist was a huge success, massive blow to the Empire, and the rebellion is funded. But the Empire strikes back, they start cracking down hard everywhere. Agent Meero's now free to investigate the Starpath unit, which leads her to interview our boy Cyril. He's like, this is my chance, please give me a job, but she's like, no man, you're a loser. He doesn't take no for an answer though, and kind of starts stalking her. He's like, look, I've got a boner for the Empire, and also for you personally. And this becomes the awkward, uptight villain romance I didn't expect to be rooting for. Anyway, she doesn't know Luthen's identity, but she suspects there's someone behind the scenes pulling the strings. She calls him Axis, and Cassian Andor is the only one who can identify him, so he's now the Empire's most wanted. And Luthen can't risk exposure. He liked Andor, but has to find him first and kill him. He has his loyal assistant Clea talk to Vel and put her on the job. And incidentally, Vel is Mon Mothma's cousin. Yeah, she's got a Batman double life too. So everyone in the galaxy's looking for Andor. The Empire cracks down hard on Ferrix and tortures Bix with the screams of dying children. But Cassian himself has no worries. He's retired to South Beach Planet until some guys do a crime nearby, and through bad luck, Cassian's picked up for it. And with the Empire's new crackdown, there's no trials. Cassian's sentenced to 6 years in prison. And so it's an absurdly ironic situation where the Empire's most wanted, they've already caught him unbeknownst to them for a crime crime he didn't even commit. Now, this prison has a unique defense system because the floor is electrified, so there's no chance of misbehavior. His floor manager is fellow inmate Kino Loy in a surprise cameo from Andy Serkis. It's a forced labor prison where they're making Death Star parts, and the whole thing's gamified in a bleakly dystopian way. They're all competing against each other. Daily winners get to eat mush with flavor, and daily losers are electrified. So a month goes by as Cassian settles into his new living hell. But there's a shakeup when they learn someone just released was sent right back in. Their sentences are a lie. No one's getting out. So the next day, it's prison break time. Of course, electrified floors could shut that right down. But this whole time, Cassian's been cutting the water pipe, so now he breaks it and they electrify the floor. Oh, the water shorts it out. They make it to the control room where Andy Serkis gives an epic monologue. There's only one way out. And oh yes, it's a full-on prison break, so sweet! But that one way out involves swimming, and in a tragic twist of fate, Kino can't swim. But ISB doesn't care about this. They're excited because they just learned one rebel faction's gonna attack a place. So this one agent goes for a secret meeting with Luthen. Yeah, he's the man on the inside. But it's like, look, I can't warn them because the Empire will know they have a mole. And this guy's like, what, you're just willing to sacrifice them? Like, what do you sacrifice? And Luthen gives the epicest monologue. I burn my life for a sunrise I will never see. He basically says he's embraced the darkness to fight the darkness, really hammering home the Batman thing. Mon Mothma also sacrificing for the rebellion. She's been funding it, but now the Empire is cracking down on money transfers. They're gonna find her. Her only option is to work with the crime lord on her home planet, and he's at the point in his career he doesn't want money. He wants the social clout of befriending a senator, and so in the tradition of their planet, they engage their teenage kids. Then in the car, she picks a huge fight with her husband about his gambling problem. He's like, what gambling problem? But she knows her driver's an ISB agent, and that'll cover where the money's going, so she's sacrificing her family for the rebellion. Meanwhile, Cassian has made it to freedom with his one fellow inmate who's in Rogue One later. But now he gets some bad news from back home. His mother Marna has died. And so everyone heads back to Ferrix, hoping Cassian will come home for the funeral. And so it's an epic funeral marching band finale. I never thought I'd say epic and marching band in the same sentence. Before she died, his mom made a recording where now she gives an epic monologue about fighting the Empire and gives Luthen a run for his money. And when the Empire tries to shut it down, now they incite a full-blown riot. In the chaos, Miro ends up in trouble, but her stalker followed her here and rushes in to save her. And it's just hilarious how much I'm rooting for this evil romance. But in this grand finale, Cassian Andor is nowhere to be seen because he's using it as cover to rescue Bix. He gets her to an escape ship with all their best friends, but Cassian's not going with him. He's needed elsewhere. Because earlier he saw that Luthen was here, so he goes to his ship and gets the drop on him. But it's like, hey man, no need to kill me because I'm now in for the rebellion 100%. Yes, Cassian Andor is ready to fight. And that's where Andor Season 1 comes to an end. If you liked this recap, hit that subscribe button for more of the best recaps of TV and movies.